Iraq is to send 200,000 extra troops to Kuwait, bringing the total number of Iraqi forces stationed in occupied Kuwait and southern Iraq to well over 500,000. The reinforcements were deployed despite a weekend proposal by Iraqi President Saddam Hussein to release all hostages by the end of March next year in return for a promise of withdrawal of Western forces. United States President George Bush responded coolly to the release announcement, describing it as a cruel parceling out of human life. And British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher warned against Iraq failing to withdraw from Kuwait.
This is evil. The things that are going on in Kuwait are terrifying. They are brutal. And most people understand that evil has to be stopped. Either he withdraws or the military option has to be used.
I hope as soon as he understands that he cannot prevail, that he will do that which he did in Iran, 180 degrees and heads north. That's what he ought to do.
About 2,000 Westerners and Japanese are still held in Iraq and occupied Kuwait amid reports of continuing atrocities being committed in Kuwait by Iraqi forces.
The phased hostage release was clearly a trade-off against Western military intervention.
Say all the guests can leave Iraq if we have assurance from Bush that he don't attack Iraq. If he give us this assurance, we will make all the guests leave Baghdad and Iraq as soon as possible.
Wives of British hostages being held in Baghdad were delighted that their husbands might soon be released.
Very happy.
Very happy.
We're always happy.
But Britain's ambassador was unimpressed.
I mean, the immediate response, if one just tries to stand back a bit and look at what's happened over these months, is, okay, so if 25 December, why not 25 November? Or 20 November? And there is a mandatory Security Council resolution calling for the release of all people detained here. Why is it not being fulfilled straight away?
Meanwhile, a group of pacifists have arrived in Baghdad with the intention of setting up a Gulf peace camp. Claiming to be the early arrivals of a much larger group, the peace campaigners want to set up a protest camp on the Saudi-Kuwait border.